to you from Studio HQ. This is another episode of the Sunder Cats. Why Sunder? Because we're going to be talking about something different. And in today's episode, we'll be talking about Dynamite Entertainment. And why cats? Because we are the coolest cats in town. I am Dodgy in the mix. Another cool cat I got with me is Reno Noir. How are you, bro?
Just chilling, man. Sixth element of hip hop, baby.
Oh, yeah. And another cool cat, I've got Truthful Comics Finest. Manny, how are you, brother?
It's all good, man. I'm here ready to rumble.
All right. So, we're going to be jumping into some books from Dynamite Entertainment. Dynamite Entertainment has been a big player in the game, in comics since 2004. Actually, one thing I didn't know about this, guys, was the fact that Dynamite actually owned the rights to a lot of, old school publishers like Harris Comics, Chaos Comics. So characters like Purgatory, Evil Ernie are actually all owned by Dynamite.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
So, yeah, I actually didn't know that. I thought they were just licensed. I just thought they were just licensed properties. But in fact, no, they're actually owned by Dynamite. So they can actually pretty much do what they wish. And that's why we got books like, Dynamite Lives.
Right.
You get all those characters in the book at the same time is because they're actually owned by Dynamite, which is kind of cool because we're not like going to have what we had with, say, Valiant, where we had gold key characters in older books which can't be republished in the today's market. So probably a good thing in that regard.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, like Reno, what does Dynamite mean to you? What books of theirs have you actually picked up that you were like, wow, this is kind of cool?
Definitely the Red Sonja stuff. And recently the black, white, and red stuff is really cool looking. I love the color splash. I love all the black, white, and bloods and black, white, and reds. Like Marvel's done it. All the publishers are doing it. Dynamite jumped in, and I think they some of the best at it. And of course, Vampirella and all their main stuff. But I really dug the Dynamite, the zombie thing they did.
How about you, Manny?
Man, I love Dynamite. I've loved Dynamite for a long time. I'm very into Sheena is one of my favorite characters. He's like it's like Sheena from Marvel, I guess. And I actually read them as the same character.
I had a girlfriend named Sheena back in the
Wow. Hey, wow.
Really exotic.
Yeah.
But I love all the pulp characters that they have, like the Shadow and Daredevil. They have Black Terror. I'm a huge Dynamite fan.
Yeah, no, I really dug there, and I honestly haven't read it, but just seen the Alex Ross covers. But the Kirby Genesis looks amazing.
Oh my goodness. One of my prized possessions, yes.
Yeah, those books look absolutely dope, man. And I got a few of their books because they were relatively cheap. Like the back issues weren't that expensive, but having Alex Ross art on them, like shit, like that's got to mean something, right? Like that's amazing.
He does a lot of covers for them.
Yes, I know.
Yeah,
indeed.
Right.
Yeah, and I think one of my personal favorites was reading the Army of Darkness omnibus that they produced. Probably over 10 years ago now, but those books were fun. Like you had art by Nick Bradshaw, and I think Nick Bradshaw draws the best Ash, in my honest opinion, besides J. Scott Campbell. But man,
they've got, dude. I mean, like so many. Well, first of all, the Game of Thrones stuff. Because Game of Thrones is my favorite, show of all time, and I like they do stuff like that, like RoboCop and Terminator, and Buck Rogers and Connor McLeod, and all that good stuff, and it's awesome. It's in the Kato, stuff is phenomenal. Yeah, they really are underrated, in my opinion.
That's true.
Yeah, and the books are always they always have that, like, it almost feels like you're holding a real comic book in your hand. And I mean, what I mean by that is that the quality is really up there, considering they're only a 17-year-old company.
Right.
Yeah.
The quality of the books are very superior, even in the early days.
Yeah, like in the 90s, they had shout out to my man Jimmy Palmiotti, Painkiller Jane.
Oh my goodness, yes.
Him and Joe Quesada. And I interviewed Jimmy Palmiotti on my channel, Sixth Element of Hip Hop. So you guys check that out on my channel, Sixth Element of Hip Hop. Jimmy Palmiotti is a great guy. Yeah, really great interview, really cool guy. And he's done so much stuff, with Red Sonja. Right now he's got the Invincible Red Sonja and stuff he's doing with Amanda, and then that Painkiller Jane was great.
Yeah.
Yeah. And guys, if you see it here, we've got Dynamite's website up. Do check it out. You can see the new books that come out, and I think their website is quite polished. What do you think, Reno? Like,
I loved it. I like how they I love how there's tabs for characters, upcoming creators, editors, all the different, it's, and then titles. So it makes it really cool for like a new reader or a new fan or someone that's wanting to get into Dynamite or see what it's all about. Yeah, the website is good for that. It's just good to bring new people.
Yeah, it almost has that press feel to it. So it almost feels like it's a press website. It just like has the exclusives and things like that. Because it's busy, there's a lot in there. So if you are looking, I think it'd be a lot easier to find books than it would be to find a website that has, I guess, not enough information, if you know what I mean. Manny, what are your thoughts, bro?
I think, look, for as much as it has in that website, it's very easy to navigate.
Exactly.
And like Reno was saying, it has all the tabs, so it's easy to find what you're looking for. And I love that when you open it, it has that Unholy Vampirella. Oh man, I cannot wait for that book. The Vampirella and Dracula. Yeah, that looks amazing. But yeah, I love the website.
Yeah, definitely. And I've got a site, and I've got a page here from the site where it has the upcoming projects and books for 1 month. So it's actually really good. And it's amazing about Dynamite, as like all comic publishers should do. They eventually have a trade after, say, the 5th or 6th issue. You know what I mean? Like, just makes it easier that when you do miss, say, you only like jumped on it on the 5th issue. Don't worry, because you can get the trade soon. And there's another
exactly.
Yeah, so definitely. And another great book they've got is the John Carter series as well. I mean, those Alex Wright covers are absolutely astonishing.
They're Thoris.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
They have a lot of. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you go, bro. You go.
I was gonna say they have a lot of Batgirl comics like Panther and Miss Fury, Vampirella, Sheena. They have a lot of characters like that I really dig.
And I think it's really
bad broads.
I was gonna say it's really good for female readers because you find that there are a lot of female led characters, which is kind of cool.
Right.
There's a lot of variety in that regard. There's more than just say exactly. You don't just look at Wonder Woman or Captain Marvel. We've got other significant female characters here.
Yeah, man. The Vampire Huntress, the Ninjets, a lot of like underrated stuff. Bionic Woman. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Stargate.
So we're going to move on to the first book. So this is in spirit of, say, Marvel Zombies or Deceased from DC. This is Dynamite Lives. I really like the principle here that we have like the Dynamite characters either becoming zombified or not dead yet, fighting zombies. I found this to be a pretty cool concept. Reno, what were your thoughts in jumping into this book here?
Yeah, it was very entertaining. And we have, like I love Ash Williams. From the movies, you can't, and we love Ash, and the Dynamite series, you get a fair bit of Ash, in this issue. So the readers who don't know him get a strong sense of his personality, his unique set of talents. And it does him justice. This is this Ash is as close a reproduction as you can get without seeing the real thing. And the art is good. The Dynamite lives. Zombies have become interchangeable with the Deadites. So all the trappings of blood and gore and flying body parts are present and great. The color shading is rich, which makes the blood stand out even more, which I love. And the action scenes are over the top, ridiculous, but in all the right ways, And readers we're introduced to our hero Ash, restocking the shelves at S-Mart, and right off, Ash's sharp speaking style, casual relationship with rules, are front and center. And this version of Ash looks and feels like the real thing, and that's going to hopefully carry the series with amusing moments in future issues. And rising to the occasion, as Ash always does, he orders Tammy to grab the biggest saw she can in one aisle while he heads to the hunting gear aisle. And unfortunately, Tammy misinterprets Ash's order and comes back to replace his signature robotic hand with an industrial strength weed whacker. It's great, and Ash is not happy about it. But he soon learns that Tammy's goof might have been a blessing in disguise, and he trims the deadite hedges, as it were.
That was a good one.
And I mean, it's great. We conclude the issue kind of with evil Red Sonja calling her zombie army, to her, and Smiley wondering what will become of him, and evil Red Sonja's going to take control of the situation. Smiley has a new partner. No, not Red Blood. I think Dynamite Lives #1 packs a ton of Ash Williams and Evil Dead fan service and merges seamlessly into the Dynamite storyline. The signature black humor lands well. The art takes the ridiculous premise seriously for a thoroughly enjoyable read.
Yep.
And what did you think about it, Manny, in terms of the artistic sense?
Man, I love this book. I love this book. The artwork. The artist is Vincenzo Caratu, and I absolutely love his artwork. Everything about it. And I have to come clean. I've never watched Army of Darkness or Evil Dead movies. I've never, and I've never read a single comic with Ash Williams.
Really?
And this is the first time that I've seen clips here and there, like Hail to the King and all this stuff. But I've never actually sat down and watched a movie or anything. But from what I've seen, the little bit I've seen, the characterization in this book is on point. Like that's how I imagine he would be.
Yeah.
The interactions is funny, but it has a lot of action. It's super fast paced. The interactions between Panther and Vampirella, I'm a huge fan of both those characters, and they're on point. They have like a love-hate relationship, and they're always going back and forth. So yeah, and actually the last page, the lady that says blood, that's Jennifer Blood. She's like a vampire hunter and stuff like that. She's also part of the Dynamite line. So I'm sure she's gonna come in and kick ass in the second issue.
So do you think it's suitable for fans of, say, Marvel Zombies or Deceased? Do you think this would tickle the same fancy as those two titles?
Oh, no doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt, yeah. And they have even though Dynamite is it's an independent publisher, all those characters are very recognizable. Like Army of Darkness, Vampirella, and all those characters people know. And even though they're independent, they're like household names all over the place.
Yeah, like that's what I was saying before. Like Game of Thrones, RoboCop, Terminator. Like they have these great characters. These great properties.
They have they have a huge fan base. Yeah.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, and I just love the panels that we see here.
Yeah.
And the action just is so fluid. I just think it's a must read. And you're right. Ash Williams looks like Ash. He doesn't necessarily look like Bruce Campbell per se, but
Mhm.
but he looks like Ash without a doubt.
Right.
Yep. Yep.
Without an absolute
I know
doubt.
what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah, so I just love that. Like, yeah, good on you, Dynamite, for bringing a book out like this because it's very original. I mean, wouldn't say original compared to what DC and Marvel have done, but it's great that they're actually just going to you know what, let's just try this out. Let's create something different here on from what we're used to doing, and yeah, it's working. So
And works great with the name Dynamite. Dynamite.
Yeah, it worked perfect.
Yeah.
And also, evil Red Sonja with magic power, that's terrifying.
Yeah.
I mean, if you know her character, she is a handful to deal with. Imagine her with superpowers. Yeah, I cannot wait to read the second issue.
Yeah. All right. We're gonna jump into the next book here, and this is Red Sonja, Black, White, Red. Basically, it's just a black and white version of Red Sonja, but red in some of the important parts.
Right.
You know, I just think this again creates a little bit of originality, and I know that Red Sonja is kind of becoming. Forgive me for saying it, but it could be seen as Dynamite's version of Spider-Man because how many monthly titles has she got now?
Right.
I think like
A
3
few.
or 4.
Yeah,
Yeah,
a few.
Sonyaverse. There's the Sonyaversal. Like good golly, I can't name all
Invincible
of them.
Red Sonja.
Yeah, exactly.
Jimmy
And I
Palmiotti,
mean,
Amanda Connor.
yeah, exactly. So I mean, Rena, what did you think jumping into this?
Well, the black, white, and red concept isn't. I had already known about it because Wolverine's got one, Carnage has one. You know, there's, and I really like those. So I as soon as I saw this, I was like, oh, awesome! Dynamite's into it too, and they knocked it out of the park. I mean, each each of the self-contained short stories allows new and continuing fans of Red Sonja to see her in her glory, and the team at Dynamite need to have words with the big two at DC and Marvel about creating self-contained stories for beloved characters using a
Yes.
color palette because they and like in okay, so the sorcerer Shangara, the she-devil, is trapped in a dungeon with two very happy prisoners. In fact, everyone in the castle seems happy that they are being forced to do things by the sorcerer, aided by the court jester. And can Sonja find the secret of the sorcerer, or will she succumb to the snake beard? It's tongue-in-cheek tale that's perfect appetizer for the next issue. And then you've got The Hunted, where Sonja comes across some lovers in a forest and protects them from the bandits, and she encourages them to follow her, and perhaps there's room for 3 in her bedroll. And the bandits are hot on their trail, but why Sonja is going around in circles? Why is she going around in circles? And then in the final tale, you got Seeing Red, which Sonja is hired in a tavern to retrieve a gem for a local nobleman. However, she gets a horrible feeling when she recognizes the wearer of the gem and is ambushed by an invisible foe. And then each of the artists' styles in these suits the Red Sonja genre. Q's artwork in the Shannara storyline is both stunning and silly, with the two prisoners reminiscing about how great the dungeon is, or the women peeling potatoes in pillories. And then Staggs has wonderfully drawn Sonja, draws your eye in on the Hunted story. The snow-covered background and hints of red hair below her cape. And because you have, in these black, white, and red, black, white, and blood, usually it's just the blood that's red. But with Red Sonja, her hair's red, so the hair is red.
Yeah.
And it kind of reminded me of the, well, I don't want to go talk about another one, but and then Dewey's work provides a classical depiction of Sonja with tombs and monsters, and a plenty for swords and sorcery fans. There's loads of variant and virgin covers for this one, actually, and you'll find you're definitely gonna find one that takes your eye at your LCS. But you gotta hurry because the short volume productions for some of these are driving up the prices. As with the previous issues, Dynamite has got world-class cosplayers for the photo covers. Overall, though, it's this is how you take a beloved hero and boil their essence down into short, engaging stories, back up with stunning minimal artwork. Each quirky story needs no previous knowledge or commitment and allows the readers to just sink their teeth into a character that many write off as the girly Conan. But the first story alone is hilarious, makes you relax, while setting the tone of the whole anthology. I just dug it. I really did.
Yeah, most def. What are your thoughts, Manny? I see you've got it yourself.
Yeah, I'm gonna touch on a few things that Reno touched on. Like he said, the styles, the art styles match perfectly with Red Sonja, and I agree. And it's crazy because they're so different from each other. All three styles are so different, yet it matches perfectly with her
Right.
character. And the way I see it is almost like a Red Sonja. It's like a myth, and it's like people telling stories of this lady that came and killed whoever. It's like how each person tells a story, and how the legend keeps growing. So it's that's the way I read it. Okay, somebody's
like
telling
that.
this story, right? And so that's how I think it works. And three stories completely different, and yet her character is, you can tell how she feels, how she acts. Um, she's no nonsense. She knows her way around the forest. She knows. I don't know. They did an awesome job on this book. I feel. Yeah, and it's funny. Another thing I wanted to touch on with the whole red, white, and black. I had no idea that Marvel had done something like this, and I'm actually gonna probably look for it. But yeah, I thought it was a really cool idea because like Reno said, yeah, it usually is a few details in red with like the blood and stuff like that, but her hair is so it's such a trade. It's just such a trademark that it looks amazing when you see it.
I think that's why they decided to do it with her.
Oh, no doubt.
Do it. Period.
Oh,
Yeah, they're
without
just like, oh, this would be perfect for her. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, no
it
doubt.
really works. And one thing I like about the color of her hair, it's not like a red where it's just like it absolutely stands out. It's more of a red that can really blend in with the background or with the either where it goes with the pure white or the black.
Right.
But you're right about that, like the hair underneath her veil or her hood. That was amazing. Like to have
Yeah.
even just a little bit of hair and you just see the red, but it's not like, but it doesn't stand out enough that it's just there. It's just like you just
It's
tell
subtle.
it's there. It's very subtle and it's amazing. Like, and you're right, she is like because some people like Conan, some people love the Conan stories.
Right.
But it's really good to have another character that tells a similar story.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to be the same story, but it just has that, swashbuckling, sword fighting, clanging of swords, and all that sort of jazz. It's kind of good to have those medieval tales,
Yeah.
in comic book form because some of us like to watch. I mean, gosh, when was the last time we had a barbarian movie or a sword fighting movie? In the 80s, there were heaps.
Ton of them.
Like
that was like Conan. I first saw Red Sonja in the movies.
Oh, I love that movie.
I didn't know about
that was
Conan
a long time
comics.
ago.
Yeah, that was. Remember the movie with what was her name?
Bridget Nielsen.
Bridget Nielsen.
Yeah.
Wow,
I
that's a
love that
long
movie.
time ago.
I love that movie. That was great when I was a kid. Yeah.
And going back to her hair, it's like when they talk about Batman, for example, is that symbol. When they see her red hair, people get freaked out and they know exactly who she is. Like that's one of their biggest trademark. Like that's the she devil. They probably don't even know her name, but they know it's the she devil, and you need to be careful.
Exactly. And here we see some of the elements. See, we've got some of the panels are in like that pinkish color, which is kind of cool.
Yeah,
but here we go. Here we see the red hair and also the gore. And I like those scenes. You know those scenes in comic books that kind of get the gray complexion. Like because it's like a background fight scene. I just love it how they do it in red. Like that's just amazing. Like that is so cool.
Yeah.
And yeah, I love
Absolutely.
that. So amazing. But yeah, definitely one. If you are a fan of Conan, would you guys recommend it? If we're talking about Conan fans, like they've never
Absolutely.
seen a Red Sonja book before. Yeah.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, like I
Yes.
said, like sword and sorcery. If you're into that, and the fantasy, medieval fantasy stuff, yeah, you can't go wrong.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And in terms of the next book, this is based on a probably like the wouldn't really say the world's first cosplayer, but it would have been like someone who has been cosplayed multiple times. Just her style was very much out there. Here we go. Manny's a fan. He's
Oh yeah, yeah.
yeah,
She's
Woo!
got the bunny mask thing going.
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
Have you got a bunny mask like this, Manny? That you can wear?
I won't make any comments.
Okay, all right.
In the bunny, they have a bunny mask comic where they've got the cutout on the cover,
Yeah,
so
you
you
should have
can cut
grabbed
it
it,
out
man.
there,
You
and
could
yeah,
save yourself a bit of money.
yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, so this is Betty Page and the Curse of the Banshee. Um, to be honest with you, I'm not really knowledgeable about Betty Page, but I do know a little bit. Like I just had to do some research and find out she was actually a real person, not just a fictional character.
Mhm,
It's kind of cool.
mhm.
But at the
Yep.
same time, though, it's kind of weird that she's got her own comic book series. So, you might be able to prove me wrong. But Rena, what were your thoughts on this particular title?
Well, when a supposed banshee kills a man in Ireland, and McKnight dispatches Betty Page and her best mate Liza to Ireland to investigate. And upon arrival in the Emerald Isles, Betty and Liza meet up with the local expert, Mary Deanan, who seems rather skeptical about the attack, and she's not convinced, that it was a banshee. So Betty and Liza investigate the crime scene before heading to the local pub to interview the murder victim's brother who witnessed the attack. Shockingly, this being set in 1954 means that women had no place in a pub, in Ireland. So Betty and Liza's arrival in the drinking establishment is greeted with bemusement and hostility by the locals. And when they meet the victim's brother, they find that he's in fear for his life and offer to watch over his home should the Banshee strike again. And then Jethro Morales provides some really nice pages for the opening issue. I particularly like how he managed to give us a real sense of scale to the library. And he managed to encapsulate a real sense of drama with a rather mundane setting in this instance. But it isn't really until the final few pages that we get given a real sense of the supernatural goings on. The visual of the dead body and the build up to it was wonderfully drawn. And Stephen Mooney gets this new adventure off to a wonderful start, introduces some new wonderful characters. Indeed, the introduction of Mary Deanan, whose skepticism makes her quite interesting. I also really enjoyed the easy banter between Betty and Liza. Overall, it's a fun read with some spooky, surprises. It's a fun thing. The Betty Page, the whole thing about it, it's fun. It's not, almost like a Scooby Doo-ish kind of thing, but not really.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
exactly.
It's
Yep.
yeah. But
Okay,
overall, decent,
good
yeah.
to know. Definitely. What are your thoughts, Manny?
This was a pleasant surprise.
Okay.
I I happened to pick it up. I was at a local comic shop one day and I saw the cover. I saw a bunch of covers and I saw this cosplay by Animia. That's the cosplayer. I was like, wow, that looks amazing. I grabbed it, flipped through it. It looks cool. It almost gives me like a Chris Samney feel, the artwork
Mm-hmm.
in a few places. And I
Oh,
mean that's high praise. Chris Samney
yeah,
Mhm.
is
I
like,
love Samney.
you know, and yeah, when like Reno said, the artist Morales, there's simple settings that he makes it look. He how do I explain this? He sets it in a way that it actually makes the panels interesting. He could have just
Mhm.
drawn the figures and just be that, but he actually draws all the books in the background. The pub. He draws background characters and stuff, and that gives it more life, I feel. Um, and the whole setting is like he said, it's like a Scooby Dooish type of story. It's like a mystery.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it's interesting because it's centered like in the 50s, where that's where Betty Page was alive, I guess.
Yeah.
Um, so it's a cool contrast of not just the pub, just in life, how women were, they had their place. And Betty Page in her time was like a boundary breaker, right? Like
Mhm.
Right.
she broke barriers. She was,
Oh,
posing in bathing suits where that was not seen in those times. Um,
Early women's lib.
and yeah, she did a bunch of things that were not acceptable by society, and
Mhm.
she became an icon. And
yeah.
a sad little detail, she actually, the last stages of her life, she was like in bankruptcy. And Dave Stewart, who created the Rocketeer, he created the Rocketeer, and the main character, his main, the lover, it was
Mhm.
after her, after Betty Page.
Mm.
And he was so enamored with her, and he found her, and he took care of her until her dying day.
Wow.
Oh, what?
And yeah, that wasn't it's not that known, but I'm a
Yeah.
huge Dave Stewart fan, and I
Huh.
yeah,
That's interesting.
it's a cool
Yeah.
little detail. Yeah,
Rest in
Yeah,
peace.
that's really interesting.
Rest in peace, Dave Stewart. He was an amazing artist.
one of the masters, yes sir.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Yeah. Oh wow, what a story, Eddie. But definitely, so what would you guys suggest? Could you like just jump in and read this from the very get go and have a feel of the character? You don't really have to read back issues.
Yeah.
Would this be
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, this is if it's a fun story. If you're a female or a male, it's a fun story to read. If you like
Mhm.
Scooby Doo, if you like mysteries,
Right.
yeah, it's just a
I
fun,
don't know about it. Yeah. I
yeah,
don't
it's
know
just a
about
fun,
her.
quick
So
read.
yeah. Yeah.
Definitely nice?
I
There
mean, I
you
knew
go.
about Betty Page, but I didn't know about the comic, but I was able to get in and enjoy it. No problem.
Yep.
Fantastic. All right. So the next book. So we got another female character.
My
Um,
ex.
you lucky bastard. Uh,
Yeah.
so here, this is a beautiful cover here by J. Scott Campbell.
Yes,
This is
sir.
one of the variant covers. Um, yeah, this is kind of like a female version of say Tarzan. We had the female version of
Hmm.
Conan a moment ago, and now we've got the
Hmm.
female version of Tarzan with Sheena, the Queen of the Jungle. Um, the artwork in this was pretty amazing. I love the art. And the flow with it, and the fact that she basically, how usually you get a narration of the story, but she actually says everything. I thought was a pretty cool concept.
Mm.
Um, what were your
Yeah.
thoughts on this one, Reno?
Well, this first issue picks up the story from where issue 0 left off. There actually was issue 0, and Sheena returns to her village after having shot down the drones in the forest. But on arriving home, she runs into some soldiers who are accusing her tribe of having murdered a surveyor. And as the story opens up, we learn that a mining company is interested in some of the minerals available within Sheena's jungle, and they'll stop at nothing to get what they want. The tribe's leader manages to negotiate for some time with the soldiers, which allows Sheena to find the missing surveyor. The dialogue and Sheena's broken English is convincing, and of course, the soldiers that are disrupting life in the jungle are not the most sympathetic, which means no one will lose sleep if any of them get mauled by a predator or something. And the artwork by Moratat, which I believe he's also the one that worked on Invincible Red Sonja, and it's sumptuous, and the jungle environments are really beautiful, and as is the drawing of Sheena, who looks like she'd be only in her late teens, early 20s in this story. The style in which she is drawn looks like it could be in part of influenced by Akira, the Japanese animation, and
Hmm.
other type of anime, and the boldness of the eyes, like the anime style and so forth. My only criticism of the story part is the pacing. We seem to spend a lot of time with the soldiers explaining why they were in the jungle and so forth, which is something that could have been done with fewer words. But aside from that, I definitely enjoyed this issue, and I look forward to seeing how Sheena handles her first meeting with that surveyor.
Mm-hmm.
But
And
like I
Manny
said,
heard that.
overall, I dig it.
Yeah. Nice. And Manny, seen that you're like a Sheena fanatic. What are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I really, man. Look, I was so excited about this series because I'm a huge Morita fan.
Mhm.
So I'm a Sheena fan plus a Morita fan. It was like a gift from heaven. Um, so
Yes.
yeah, it's visually it's just a feast for the eyes. Every page is just beautiful. The story is just typical Sheena stories. She's protecting the village. People try to invade. It's like Tarzan. It's a little formulaic, I guess. But just because it's Moritat, he makes it look like like a work of art, like a masterpiece, I guess.
Yeah.
So yeah, I really enjoyed it. The only criticism I have of it is not even from this issue. Is because I read the whole thing, the whole series. It's like a 4 issue miniseries or something like that. Is that they actually take Moritat off and bring another artist,
Mm.
and that hurt my soul when I saw that. But
I hate
from
when
this,
they do that.
yeah, but from this issue, yeah, I it's a typical Sheena story, so I just I liked it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I
Yeah.
do like the fact that we have a kind of like a different story or different type of tale to tell because we've got like swashbuckling, we've got like superhero, all of this stuff. It's good to have like
Mhm.
like the Phantom type, like you ever think about the Phantom, Kit,
Yeah.
Kit Walker, being in the jungle and that sort of thing. I kind of like that, and the fact that I could see what's the word I'm looking for? She was very intrigued about everything. Like everything had a place. Like
Curiosity, like,
yeah, when
yeah.
she shot down the drone, she's talking about it being the turtle. She wanted to find the body and
Mhm.
Right,
everything. That was kind of cool. I like the flow with that because it had that. There was a lot of curiosity in her. That was the word I was looking for. Curiosity in her character, and she was curious about everything. And I like that. It showed there's like a form of innocence
and look
to
at that
her,
Yeah.
page.
a bit of naivety. She's very naive. She doesn't really understand everything that she's seeing in front of her. That's interesting. It kind of
Right,
gives you that different form of storytelling from her point of view, which I liked.
right,
I love
right.
that picture you got there, like her form
Oh my
there.
Yeah,
God, yes,
The
yes.
the you know what I mean? Like the angles of her body and then with the hair coming out. Like, yeah, he just killed it right there.
That's a
yeah,
poster right there.
Definitely.
yeah. No, without a doubt. And you've got the bird coming through the background, and you've got
Right.
the animal in the tree. It's really really nice, and I like the shading
Mhm.
as well, and the colors.
Mhm.
I look at the colors, especially around the green. That's
Yep.
really
Oh
nice.
my
And the
God,
skull.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. Look
Yeah,
at all those,
and
look at all those vines. Oh my God, it's
yeah,
just man, Martha is
yeah.
something else.
This here, like I
Yeah.
like this. I actually took a shot of this because I really like you've got the walls around the tomb. Yeah, she knows she's not
Mhm.
meant to go in there, but she's looking for the body. I think she
Right.
wants to bury the turtle, the flying
It's
turtle,
it.
which is actually a drone. But yeah, I
Yeah,
like that.
it's cool how she talks to the temple when the
Yeah,
temple all the traps start springing, and she's like, "Why are you attacking me? I'm trying to protect you." Like she's that tells you how naive she is. That she actually believes
yeah,
all these myths and stuff like that. It's funny. It's cool.
yeah. She's like a
Definitely.
likable character based on this. I thought.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely.
yeah. Definitely want to pick up if you're looking for something different. Not everything
Mhm.
has to be around superheroes or crime or there's
No,
always
that's
different.
why we talk indies, man, because it's not always superhero stuff. There's great
Exactly.
comics for everybody.
Yeah,
Yes,
100.
sir.
All kinds of stories, man.
Yeah.
That's what draws me to indies personally, is that they have these great stories that are not capes.
Mm-hmm.
I like the true crime stories, the dramas, you know,
Science fiction and
science fiction, yeah, the
yeah,
horror, the fantasy,
swashbuckling. Yeah, there's a little bit of everything.
definitely.
Yeah, very, very true. And the thing is, guys, you can always check out Dynamite. Your local comic book store will have these titles. And
Yeah.
also,
Oh yeah,
too, look out for the trades, because I know a few of these books here are not really trade ready yet. I know definitely Sheena is definitely ready for a trade.
Yeah.
Well, the trade's already out, I beg your pardon, but the other books are ready. They're probably in a month or so. You'll have those trades coming out either through Comixology, your local comic book store, and also your bookstores as well, because the trades will be available at any bookstore.
Barnes and
In
Noble.
in the graphic novel section.
Yep.
100%. Yeah.
That's
I never
true.
even time I went to a Barnes and Noble and I found a Starbucks inside. I was like shocked. Coming from Australia, that was a new thing for me. I was like, man.
Yeah.
I was like,
Starbucks.
okay,
Yeah.
coffee and books. Yep, you
Coffee
got
and
me.
book.
Yeah,
Who was it?
100%.
Somebody wanted to open a comic books. Oh, okay, that's right. It was Creamer and Cash, I think. A friend of mine from Instagram, but she wants to open a comic book store with a coffee shop in it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's a good idea.
Like,
Yeah.
we were like, whoa, keep the comics away from the coffee, but
Oh,
she said they're guaranteed any coffee stains will be replaced.
I
I think
actually
it's a great
went.
idea.
Yeah, it's funny you say that. I actually went to this. I went to this town called Fredericksburg, here in Virginia,
Yep.
last weekend actually, and they had a. I was looking for a comic book shop before I left, and I found this coffee shop, Katora Coffee. It's called, giving them the free promo. Um, and yeah, when you walk in, they have the cool coffee shop on this area. They had a small comic books area on your right side, and then at the end they had a recording studio that you can go and record music and record a podcast or whatever. And on the second floor, they had a free space that people can do like poetry reading or open mic. Man, it's such a cool spot. Such a
That's
cool
awesome.
spot. Yeah, it was
Hell yeah. That's
crazy.
in Fredericksburg.
That's in Fredericksburg, Virginia. Yeah,
You
it was dope.
you live in Virginia?
I live in Virginia. Yeah, I live in
Yeah,
Norfolk.
okay, that's right. I keep forgetting. Yeah, 'cause I live in Suffolk. Well, Franklin, but near
Oh
Suffolk.
my goodness. Yeah, we need to hang out one time.
yeah, you guys are
Norfolk,
neighbors.
do you ever go to um what's the name of it? I think it's Local Heroes.
Yeah, I go sometimes. Yeah,
Yeah, it's a nice little shop, but
it is.
it's
It
got
is.
a lot of great stuff. What I love about that shop, I will say, they don't let anybody buy more than one copy of a book, so that
What is that?
you can't come in there like the flippers can't come in and buy all the copies of a new comic, because that's what a lot of those
Ah,
guys do.
that's cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you go in there and you can still find like, I went in there, I could still find like issue 1 of books that are, already on like 17, and I was blown away by that. So I always go back there when I'm in town.
That's dope.
Yeah. But definitely, if you're looking to get multiple covers, I mean, Dynamite is a book for you because they have loads of variants.
That's true.
Mhm.
That's true.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
by amazing artists and amazing cosplayers too.
Yes, I love the cosplayer art because that kind of shows that there's a lot of effort to create a costume. This is especially a Red Sonja costume. It's not easy. That's
No.
for sure.
Right.
Definitely not an easy costume to make. So definitely, guys, don't forget to check out their website as well. To find more from Dynamite Entertainment. Support your local comic book shop.
Definitely.
As I said, like, you get the trades at your at your good bookstores. You can buy it online through Comixology if you want to, to read it digitally. You're still supporting the brand. But definitely check it out. There's a lot of fun titles out there. They have some licensed properties as well that you might be interested in from TV shows that you watched back in the past. Because I mean, even Xena, like, think that Xena has been on air for like 25 years, but in comics she's still popular and still got fans out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But,
and Dynamite has so many amazing characters, man. There's the list just goes and on and on and on and on.
Oh, yeah.
On and on and on. Even like the King publications like the Phantom, Flash Gordon, Mandrake,
Buck Rogers. They have Dracula. They have, oh my goodness, Flash Gordon. Yeah, like you said. Yeah, they have a bunch of cool characters.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
dude.
But definitely check it out.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining the Thundercats. Don't forget to check us out at comiccrusaders.com. Click and like and subscribe and hit the notification bell so you get more from our content. But just remember, we are the Sunder.
Thundercats.
Yeah, we need to practice this.
We're gonna work on that.
Yeah, we really
All
got to work on that. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you all next week.
Yeah,
no
man.
doubt.
And don't forget to check out Sixth Element of Hip Hop.
Thank you. We hope you've enjoyed this Comic Crusaders production. For real-time news on all things pop culture, please feel free to follow us on social media. For articles, original content, merchandise, and more, please go to www.comiccrusaders.com. Also follow along with all of the websites of the Comic Crusaders family. As always, if you like this content, please click like and subscribe to the Comic Crusaders YouTube channel.